First time
You'll be
had
there.
it,
Damage,
but it was a lot of internal.
Yeah.
but I like it that.
A lot of flooding and dirt.
We're on. All right, let's call this meeting to order. Join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me for a brief prayer. Lord, as we gather here today to contemplate the county's business, please guide us to make the best decisions for all of our constituents. In your name we pray. Roll call.
Commissioner Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Kirchner? Commissioner Burdison?
Here. I will make a motion to approve the digital audio video recording of the previous board session from Thursday, October 10th.
So moved.
Roll call.
Commissioner Burdison?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirchner? Commissioner Thomas?
Yes. Adjustments. We.
Okay.
Do you have anything from an administrative report perspective?
We have nothing.
Stacy is in Columbus at an insurance meeting, so we appreciate her traveling down there wee hours of this morning to represent us. Commissioner reports. I don't have anything pressing.
Flip.
Yeah, go ahead.
Goes first.
Go ahead. You got a couple things.
I do have a couple things. First I'll just give a general report of the last week. I just came from Fostoria Economic Development meeting this morning. Very impressed. They had an open house last night. Their office is located in the Learning Center in Fostoria, so all those that have not been over there, highly encourage you to go visit that. It's a tremendous asset to our county. And Economic Development has taken over operation of that building. Chambers in there, Visitor Bureau. It's very, very active building. Great report, a lot of good things going on over there. Attended a EMS meeting last night at Hopewell Loudon, and it was a good meeting. I think this is something that will be talked about more and more in the next 6 months, and that seems to be a topic that we need to kind of continue to talk about. We did tour, we made a visit to our storage, our off-site storage. Gene Eckleberry was there, Julie, our auditor, was there, Judge Meyer and his staff. As you know, we have we had some problems out there, some mold and some issues out at the old juvenile center. So we toured that. We toured the TB building, as I call it. I don't know if there's a better name for it. Vicki, is that we're going to go with that?
We just talked about that.
It has some branding issues, you know.
I did notice on the plaque, the commissioners at the time were Dale Stacy,
Yeah.
Mr. Stein, and who's the third one?
Was it Words?
Words, Laverne Words, thank you, good one. And I believe it was 1972 or 3.
It was the Education Service Center for a long time,
So it was-
we
And
could
the
call.
health department also.
And then the health department. But we have records everywhere out there, and so this is an ongoing initiative that I know all the commissioners feel strongly that we need to find a solution. We're scanning, we're doing all the things, but there's frankly many records that we're just gonna keep. Not everything is scannable, and the museum will tell you that. Also, in speaking with Judge Meyer, they have a plan, but it's so much a year out of their budget to scan records, and so this could be a 10-year plan before they get all their records scanned. So part of the IT committee, part of the commissioner's role is to keep that in the forefront. We have to protect They're not our records, they're the county records, so we want to do what we can there. So that was a productive meeting, more to come. I have a couple announcements. I have one announcement and then 2 resolutions. So we heard back from Tiffin University, and we would like to have our meeting we'd like to have a meeting Tuesday, next week, on the campus of Tiffin University.
What time?
That would be at 10 o'clock. And we will also have our normal meeting on Thursday here, so this would be an extra meeting. Jimmy, you will send a notice out with a map. Tiffin University has provided us a map of where this will be. It'll be in Chisholm Hall, or Chisholm Auditorium and Franks Hall at Tiffin University at 10 o'clock. So just want everyone to know that, and then we'll have another meeting here on Thursday. Jim, you want to add anything? Anybody want to, we're good?
That's great,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
sounds good.
I
That's
have,
awesome. And it's a good time because we've got to, remind the university students that they are counted in our
they're
census.
excited, yeah, for the students to come and it'll be good, it'll be good.
Yeah, good. Thanks for working on that.
I have 2 business items I would like to bring up. The first one has to do with poll workers and just a concept. So I had an opportunity to attend the Board of Elections meeting several weeks ago now. And one of the issues we have in our county is there's a shortage of poll workers. And the ones we have, like in many professions, are aging. So we're trying to, they're doing a bang-up job down there at the Board of Elections. I think we've got good people there. But one of the questions that came up was that there are county employees that currently work at the polls, and there are county employees that would like to work at the polls. And how do we do that? Do they get paid? Do they take a vacation day? The way it works today as we sit here, they take a vacation day and then they work the polls. I want to stress that this is not intended to be a day off for all county employees to go to Put-in-Bay or anything like that. You have to go through poll training. You have to be approved by the Board of Elections to work the polls, and then you have to go for a 12-hour day and actually be there for this resolution to take place and for everything to be approved. I think we're a county, we're elected officials, we are blessed with the right to vote, and so I'd like to introduce a resolution that I talked to Derek Devine about this as well, that would basically allow poll workers, there's actually Ohio Revised Code that's in place for this, but we just weren't aware of it, that would allow a county employee with pay to work the polls on poll day, and would also allow them to receive the, what's the right word, the stipend
Yeah.
that is paid to poll workers. So I have a resolution that I'd like to read that's subject to the prosecutor's office final approval, although I will say before I read mine that this letter from Derek basically says that after reviewing Ohio Revised Code 350128 F1A, I'll get you a copy, Vicki. It is in our opinion that employees would be eligible to serve as poll workers, providing the employee's appointment authority may permit leave with pay for this service in accordance with the resolution setting forth the terms, conditions for that leave passed by the Board of Commissioners. So there is precedent here. So with that, I would like to introduce this resolution.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that right now.
Whereas the Seneca County Board of Commissioners, Mr. Thomas Kirschner, Paradiso, met in open regular session, I'll take Mike's name out of there, I guess, 17th of October, and whereas several other counties in Ohio, including Delaware and Montgomery counties, have adopted policies that allow county employees to serve as poll workers without being obligated to use personal or vacation days. The current policy in Seneca County allows county employees to take a vacation or personal leave time to work as a poll worker, but the employee must then forfeit their pay as a county employee. And just as a county employee to accept payment as a poll worker. This board supports poll workers, recognizes the importance of these people performing their civic duty. Commissioners are aware that there are always a need for qualified professionals to be poll workers. Resolved that this board shall change its policy per the Ohio Revised Code that I read to allow county employees to work as poll workers without being obligated to use personal vacation leave, and these employees will be eligible to collect their normal county pay in addition to the stipend as a poll worker. And resolved that this change in policy is not mandated for all county employees. Elected officials will make the ultimate decision of what policy is enacted for their departments. However, without this resolution, no county department would have the ability to adopt this policy. Commissioners encourage departments to offer this opportunity to employees, and it is found and determined the formal action of this board concerning related to the adoption of this resolution were taken in an open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of this board and any committees resulted in such formal actions were in the meetings open to public compliance with the law.
It's a motion, and I'll second it. As far as discussion, I would say, I've worked as a poll worker and really enjoyed it. So if anyone's looking to get involved, contact the Board of Elections. It's really rewarding to sit and talk to your neighbors as they come in to vote. Work with great people. And the training is not hard. It's not complicated. Don't be intimidated by the technology or the process. It's very obvious what you need to do. It's just about having good people there supporting the democracy. The other thing that I'd like to point out on this resolution is not every county employee is going to be able to avail themselves of this, because there are obviously some very small departments and elected officials that have very small staff, and in order to continue to function, they're just not able to let people off. So, to the extent that they want to participate, the door's now open for them to participate, and to the extent that people want to work the polls and the furtherance of being soldiers in democracy, as I like to say, they will have that opportunity now and some incentive to do that. So we have highly qualified employees across the county, and they would make tremendous poll workers. So happy to support this and make this available. So good job on this, Tony. Anything else you want to add?
Not there.
Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner? Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Number two, my final comment is Commissioner Kirschner brought up last meeting the Christmas lights for downtown, and he also mentioned last week that these will be paid with private funds. So I spoke with Mr. Kirschner before the meeting, and he has secured enough money for the lights through pledges, and assures us when he gets back that he will follow up and help collect the money. We do have to order the lights. Audrey's here, we need to get the lights here before Thanksgiving so we can get them up and light the tree. So we are asked to basically front the money to get the order placed, and so I would like to bring that up, that we work out the accounting whatever's needed to sign the agreement and get the lights ordered with the stipulation that, that'll be paid back with private funds,
Okay.
up to $20,000.
Okay. Yeah, so going back to we had a landscape committee for the Justice Center, and starting back then, kind of the completion of the landscaping was to bring the cupola lighting on board and the holiday lighting up to speed as just sense of civic pride. So, the county's always been in on this. Mike took it on himself to, explore a lot of options.
Yeah,
And
he
this
put a
is-
lot of time in it.
And this is a kind of the scaled back version, and it looks to me like there's gonna be a good public-private partnership here on this, so, I concur. I don't know that we need a resolution at this point, but, let's work out the accounting and the legalities of putting together the funding, and just, let Stacy know that, we've discussed it here, we're happy to have it move forward and do what we have to do so that we can raise the money and get this stuff ordered in time for holidays. I guess there is a deadline.
Right.
Before before Halloween, we should be talking about, should be having on your red and green, but, that's where we're at, and to order them, so.
Yeah, and I think.
We support it.
Yeah, I think the public should know, we've scaled this way back. But the theme that's chosen, we're gonna get a few pieces, but quality pieces for the courthouse. And we hope to build on that with the city, with downtown, and with the county going forward. So this is just for this year, and there's a lot of other legwork that's going into a more long view of things, so.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
that's all I have.
Good, all right. Speaking of holidays, we have the museum here today, and they'd like to share their update. And we probably have some holiday decorations being
Coming up.
pulled out of the attic
As we speak.
as we
Yep.
speak.
Just in time.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
It's nice, thank you.
Welcome. I'm gonna sit, if you don't mind, because there's a lot to read.
No
So-
worries.
Oh, I need from Nikki. Yeah, we have decorations being put out into the rooms where they're gonna be going, so it's in the process. We'll be doing that
Take them
today.
down, stage them in the room.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
That one's to go forward.
Okay, thank you. Here you go,
Purple one?
that one.
Okay.
Okay,
Jim.
this is kind of an overview from June to October so far. What?
Well, yeah, but this slide's January.
So from January through October so far, we have 740 walk-ins, 160 people use the Fort Ballroom for meetings, 237 Tiffin City School kids, 52 homeschool tours and kids, and 56 Noble school tour, 25 Tri-County Tractor Club, and 70 visitors for the Heritage Festival weekend, which brought us to 1,340 approximately. You never know, during open houses and everything, a lot of people don't sign the books and are hanging stuff, so it's kind of where we're at. We have Heidelberg students and graduates who are helping at the museum right now. Starting on September 19th was Alicia Yoder. She's a history major and archaeological major, last class from Heidelberg, Dr. Bush's class.
She's awesome.
Yeah, so she's helping out, helping with the inventory and everything. I have her working on the library, which is gonna take a lot of work. And the other girl is Allison Bly. She's actually, I think, a sophomore this year. And she's gonna be helping as she has time with her schedule, because it's a lot bigger this year, so. This is just a picture of some of our volunteers. So far for the year, 1,870 hours have been volunteered. If anybody doesn't know the people in the picture, that's Brian Courtney, all the way over, and a lady that was in doing some research. In the middle is Paula Crum. She does all of our gardening and helps do the Christmas decorations, and she's the one that does the parlor. So she was
Okay.
down digging through the basement the other day to do the 10-foot trees. And then over there is the school days with Gary Dundor was helping that day. This is kind of the status of the museum inventory. At the top is Paul Pospisil helping. And so far we have 3,684 items inventoried. We just put in 700 sheets of sheet music, which originally was under just one number in the museum. So now it's all been numbered and put into the inventory and our hanging stuff. So
Are we backing up that database someplace?
We have a
off,
secondary,
yeah,
off-site also?
no, it's there
No,
next.
it's a portable.
It's a portable memory
Okay.
thing.
yeah, yep.
You know,
And then when we got, just a couple months ago, I sent it over to Stacy. So she had it up to that time.
okay. all
So,
right.
yeah.
And who you guys are on? Did you guys get connected to the fiber?
Yeah, yep.
So we might be able to route that back to the server somehow. And
Okay, that'd work.
I mean, just investigate that so
Mm-hmm. Okay.
that it's backed up in case you do have some kind of catastrophic failure.
Yeah, we don't want
You guys
that.
work so hard on it. I don't ever want to see
Oh, boy.
that have to start over.
No, and everybody always asks, how far are you on the inventory? It's really hard to tell because there's so much stuff that are in drawers.
Halfway to infinity, right?
Right. I mean, you have drawers, closets, the basement, the attic, so it's kind of hard to tell, but I'll do a brief run through here of what I do have. The first floor, 100% complete, is the east parlor, the west parlor, the foyer, the courthouse room, solarium, old kitchen, office, fort ballroom, and the silver closet. And as you read through the 80% glass room, that's mostly just what's left is underneath. 50% on the medical room is because we have some out on display and one room is actually closed off. So that's the room that we have to finish on that. The library, like I said, that's going to be the long haul because of all the photos and everything that have to be done. And the butler pantry, that just actually has like odds and ends in it. So the carriage house, 90% complete. We can't really get upstairs in the carriage house because the stairs are so bad and they're hanging. The door needs to be replaced up there. So we have inventoried everything up there. We just need to go out and get the pictures of everything to put into the inventory once we get that done. So the garage, 80% complete. And the basement, that's where all the clothing and everything is kept. And we're working with the Museum Foundation on policies and procedures and everything so we can deassess some of the clothing and stuff that is not displayable or anything. So that's an ongoing process with that. The next one is the second floor, 100% complete, is the Gibson room, Pioneer bedroom and closet, music room and closet, gold room and closet, quilt room, hallway, large camera closet, and the chapel. 75% is the Gibson bathroom. There's only a few things in the one cabinet that need to be done. 20% in the junior homeroom and closet. Again, in the junior homeroom, we have all of the documents, all of the registries, all of the papers and everything from there, which all have to be put into the inventory. So again, that's a lot of paperwork mostly to be put in. The library, again, 25%. Third floor, the animal room is done. The toy room is 50% done. Again, on the third floor, we have a closet full of all the old bound newspapers from like the 50s to what, the 70s?
Late 60s.
And then we have newspapers back into the 1800s and our hand stuff, so we have to do all those into the inventory also. basically what I'm saying is everything that's out on display in the museum is done.
Okay.
It's all the stuff that is in closets, in drawers, in boxes, and all that kind of stuff, so.
I think you probably should mention that the gold room is not where we keep our gold. It's just it's the color of the walls.
Yeah. We'd like to have gold, but we
Nobody
don't.
break in. Nobody needs to break in.
Are any of the newspapers also already done at the library? Is there any redundancy there?
Yeah, well, they're all at the library.
Mhm.
These are just actual bound papers that we have, that someone gave us, that are there. And it's one of the most valuable tools we use for research for a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
our stuff. I mean, you know, a lot of times we'll go down and just bring volume down and start going through and looking for stuff. And I mean, Vicki just asked you to hear about some history of the American Legion. Well, that's kind of the sources of stuff we go to, so. It's a lot easier than going to the library and watching the microfiche go by and.
You can actually pull out the actual.
Yeah, it's a lot better to have that actual document that you can look at. As we're working on the inventory and going through things, we had a lot of paint and old paint cans down in the basement. We went through those and disposed of over 20 when they had the last hazardous waste collection at the fairgrounds. I did have maintenance come over and go through the cans to see if there was any that we were still using, and had them let us know if we needed to keep them or not. So there is still a few there. The Robert Teach Fund, last year, or this year, we were awarded $10,186, and the project was to help with the restoration of the windows and stuff on the carriage house. As you see in the picture, 3 of the windows are gone. After he got them, he said they were a lot more work than what he had officially said, but he's still gonna cover them at the same quote that he had told us about. We don't know as of right now where he stands with them, so when those come back, he'll finish taking out the other windows, but it's all the windows that are to be done with that grant on the carriage house, so. Social media, on our Facebook page, and I don't know if you guys can see over here, this thing is not working on that one. I don't know why. Pick the green one on that.
It probably won't work.
It doesn't
It won't work. Okay, never mind then. Every day we have a local history facts and photos. We currently have over 8,200 likes. But a couple weeks ago, Mark posted the tire fire from over in Sycamore. And we actually had 132,000 people look at it that day. So we're pretty excited about that.
Gets the museum out there in the public eye.
Oh, sure.
You posted the one of my aunt,
Yeah, that was a great photo too.
and so my son, it went viral in the family.
Oh, good, very good. As soon as I seen the name parodies will come back, I thought, oh, yes.
I said, "Dad, Mr. Steinmetz puts those out."
The thing is, my dad took that picture when he was 18. He worked at the Ritz.
Oh, really?
It's just awesome doing that. every year.
Yeah, that was such a fun view.
So thanks for doing that.
Very good.
Yeah. What you do, it's good.
We have the website we use for events, open houses, and museum schedules, but a lot of times when the people come in, we ask them where did they see or read about us, and most of the time it's either from Google or from our website, and of course we're on Instagram. The museum reviews on the web, the TripAdvisor, we have 4.5 stars out of 5. We only have 3 reviews, but we've been telling everybody as they come in, you know, leave us comments, good or bad, we want to have you tell us, you know. And on the Google, we have 4.9 out of 5 with 28 reviews, so. Mark actually ran this. I was at I don't know if I was on vacation or what. Anyways, I was gone this weekend on the August 10th. He hosted the Tri-County Tractor Club. They came from Rising Sun, drove their tractors over, parked in front of the museum. There were 15 tractors and 25 members. And lunch was catered in for them, and they toured the museum, and lots of very good comments and everything, so. School days at Living History. I was a speaker, introduced to the kids about women's rights to votes in Nerhang. Got them all pepped up, had all the girls stand up and say vote and all that in Nerhang so that they understood more about what the women's rights were in Nerhang. And then I had a tent out there, and we had done history boards up talking about the women's rights to votes and how Louisa Fast was instrumental in helping put all our women's groups together here in Tiffin and Nerhang. There were approximately 800 students, teachers, and chaperones. We made bookmarks and ribbons about the women's rights to votes. Of course, when the kids would come in and there was boys, they're like, well, I really don't want to make one. So we had a sign that says, mothers birth all the voters. I said, make one for your mom, because even if you don't want to, your mom has the right to vote and everything and stuff. So we were really pushing on making sure that you vote. So, and then of course they would make them. So it was fun. Farmers market, Mark set up down there. We had Pat Holman helping. I would have been there, but I was at the museum. We had the museum open also. Very good day. Raised a couple $100 for the museum that day. So we were hoping to do more, but things keep getting in the way of other things that need to be done. But we had the paranormal, I cannot talk, investigation of the museum by the Orbs group. And the pictures of them there, they've been on Animal Planet, the History Channel, Destination America, and the Bio Channel. We had so much fun when they were in there. They came in at like 7:30, I think, or 8 o'clock, and they were there until like, I think we got home about 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So they came back on and told us that they found 27 different audio and video clips and played them for us in our hanging. It was nothing evil or anything, but we knew there was things in there. I've experienced them. People visiting have experienced them in their hangs, so it was kind of good to get the initial yes, they are there. And it's actually going to be a fundraiser after the first of the year. They're going to come back, and we're going to be setting up quarterly ghost hunts, ghost walk, and it'll be what was it, 25?
Yeah.
$25 a person. They will get 5 out of that. The museum gets 20. And they will actually take 10 people at a time and do a walk to get them involved with it and their hanging stuff. So we're hoping that'll be a good moneymaker for the museum and their hanging, get more people to come in and visit us. So
We've
As
got a
they-
few more haunted buildings
Oh, yes.
out on the county farm.
And they want in
and
there.
they want in there. Yeah, we were supposed to find out from you guys when they could get in there because they want to do that one also. So.
Well, Commissioner Paradiso is now in charge of the TV hospital.
There are, absolutely.
Well, we'll be talking to you.
There are spirits in there.
I'm sure if you read some of the articles and everything that we've read, there's a lot in there. So.
And what that is up there on the screen is a screenshot of one of their evidence, and that there's a stick figure on General Gibson's bed that he died in up there. So they found that something hanging around up there. So that, we hope to have a reveal of all they found at a future meeting.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is just one of the posters that we help with these type of events behind the facade walking tour. But before they do all of these, pretty much everybody in Tiffin calls us. What do you have on this building? What do you have on that building? What can you tell us? So we help put all these types of things together. We don't really tell everybody, but it's kind of nice to get out there with all the people and be involved. Right now, we are working on the Ohio Historical Markers. We did 2 last year, or this year, I believe, last year. And we were just approved for one on September 17th for St. Joe's Church, because they're going to be celebrating their 175th. And there was 70 applications in the, 3 counties that they do
No,
for the
the entire
Pomeroy
state.
state?
That was for all markers for the entire state.
Okay.
17,
Yeah.
70 applied,
70 applied.
only 27 were approved.
Okay.
And
We got
the,
2.
We got one.
we got one. we're helping Meadowbrook Park. They haven't got theirs yet.
I see.
Yeah, we're helping them to get one, so hopefully that will come through. We were hoping that we would have applied for a second one, but the Tip and Glass Club, we were helping them and they didn't finish their follow through, so they could have gotten one. So we could have gotten another one if they didn't know, they weren't gonna do theirs, so.
Can I ask you, what are the costs of these? How does the money work?
Well, with us, we have an inside with the Pomeroy Grant Foundation, and they are paying for this one for the St. Joe's. It's $3,200 or something like
It's
that.
an
they
average
pay.
cost is around $3,000.
For
Yeah.
every one of these you see
Every
is
one you
about
put up, right.
3,000?
Yeah.
Right, and then if an individual wants to put it up, they gotta pay the money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you apply through the Pomeroy, which is only good for certain states or certain counties, if it passes their approval, then they pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Their stipulation is that it has to be an event that happened before 1900. So, we'd like to do one on 1913 flood, but that wouldn't follow through their requirements. But then that could also be paid locally if we do a fundraiser. But, I'd love to put one up at the end of East Davis Street where the Klingshears family all got washed away, and it's on city property, and it'd be a nice marker for that. And then the Glass Work Museum wants to do one. There's a lot of, we're gonna try to do one a year if we can. We think these are really big as far as bringing the tourists in. People come to communities just to see these, so.
So when you apply, is it, who approves? Is it the Ohio?
Well, yeah, Ohio, it used to be the Ohio Historical Society, now it's the Ohio History Connection it's called. And if you go to their website, Remarkable Ohio, you can see they got an application form. And it required us to do about 35 sheets of paper. You have to do all the research of where this information comes from. You have to give sources, bibliographies, everything, photographs, locations, who's paying for it, who's gonna take care of it in the future. It's a lot of work.
So they basically say, this is a historic place and you can put a historic marker there, but then they don't pay for it or
No,
do anything after that.
we can pick any place we want, but they have a review team that reviews it to see if it's acceptable for their program.
I see. Didn't mean to get off track. It's good stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Good work. Thanks.
The Rolling Thunder Skating and Family Fun Center, I'm sure you've been involved with the gentleman that's gonna be opening that. I think it's Tim Waits, how to pronounce his last name, but he stopped in on September 18th and was asking for information and photos about the old skate land that we had. And we actually got him in contact with some of the family members in our hanging. He's got a lot of memorabilia and items that have been brought to his attention. So when this opens up, it should really be a fun thing for the kids and everything and stuff. And the way he talks, he's gonna be doing a lot of events to try to get different groups involved in everything and stuff. And he says he has a no bullying policy and all that. If you're caught or hang, you're out, no questions and everything and stuff. So hopefully it'll be a fun place for the kids to go and everything, and families. I used to skate, probably can't stand on them now, so.
Yeah. There used to be a skating rink in Boonville too. upstairs.
That's where I used to skate when I was in high school, yeah.
Yeah.
Above the grocery store.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Good old days.
Go around that corner and run into the coat rack all the time. Again, this is just some of the research that we help with the local business places coming in. It's kind of nice because if you go to like Denny's or any of those and look around on the walls in our hang, you'll see a lot of pictures that say courtesy of the museum. So this is on Wall Street, if any of you don't know, the new Tiffin Brewery. The next page is the authors who helped us do the Tiffin book. We've actually contacted them and been in talk with them the last couple of years, but we've always wanted to do a 1913 flood book. And so that book is in the works now with Mark's and some other people's and the museum's collection of flood pictures. And my brother-in-law back there who has pictures of the flood walls and everything being built. Hopefully those will all be in the new book when we get that. This Tiffin book took us about 2 years to complete. So I'm not sure how soon we'll do the 1913 flood. We're actually in the works of trying to see if we want to do all black and white or if we want to do black and color. And of course, the more you do, the higher the cost. And we want to keep it where we can actually, people will want to buy it, you know. So we thought about even a then and now book. So we may be coming asking for some donations and things to help back the expenses to at least get it started, so. This is a book that just came out, I think on the 19th, Ghosts and Legends of Northern Ohio. This William G. Kresge, I think, or Krejci, however you pronounce it. He lives in the most haunted house in Cleveland, Ohio. And he does all these ghost books and, what is it, Franklin Mansion?
Franklin
Castle in Cleveland. So in here, we have the Republic train wreck. There's not a whole lot on it, but at least it's in the book, and the museum was recognized for that. I think that makes number 9, the 9th book that I've helped with and everything since I've been at the museum, which next month on the 9th will be 20 years that I've been there. We actually had, on the 8th, we met with State Representative Bill Reineke and an attempt to create the Arts and History Council in Seneca County. This is just a way to meet with like the Fenley Bureau and Sandusky Visitors Bureau and everything, and local places around here to try to work together and see what their successes were and how we could build on ours. And the Sandusky County, the ladies that run that, when the one started, she said they used to get like 6 bus tours a year. Now they're up to, what'd she say, 76 bus tours a year. And she actually was at the museum last year for our Christmas open house, and we talked with her about helping us do more stories and all that and everything. So hopefully we'll be working with them. They actually have this weekend, I think it's coming up, it's called a Witch's Walk in Sandusky, and everybody's dressed in costume, and there's hundreds of them that dress and Halloween theme, but it's all for a nonprofit. So things like that I think would be fun to include here in Tiffin. The next one you're going to see is our 200th birthday. This will be the official logo for the markers and things that will be on the buildings. Mark and I are on the committee. It was just actually approved, was it this week or last week? And so you have the first unveiling of what our marker is going to look like for our 200th birthday in 2020. And our last one is our Seneca County Museum mascot. And this was the thing the school kids did. They had a thing out where you could vote, and the kids came up with different names, and I think it was 4 or 5 names, and then from those, everybody got to vote and everything. And we can't tell you his name.
What?
Nope, not today. You have to
Turn
come.
off the camera. We're in executive session here.
So you have to come to the museum on October 27th from 2 to 3 if you want to know what his name is, or after that. But actually,
Can you tell us the 5 finalists?
I don't have.
I don't remember what the names all were.
Ooh, you're working it, yeah.
It was through the school teachers and everything.
Okay.
They had all the names and stuff.
All right, but nominations are closed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it
We had a
was.
chance to vote, yeah.
Shane
Yeah.
would have been a great name.
Anyway, since I've been there, we've always wanted to do something with that. The Seneca County Museum's just ducky, so this kind of just opens it wide up for us for shirts and things to make for fundraisers. But we're actually going to have an open house. The kids that decided the names and everything, there will be a plaque that's on the duck to tell his name and everything and stuff, and we'll acknowledge the kids that brought up the names.
And then the idea is they get a
Yeah.
flat cutout of the 4-legged duck that they can take on their trips to Rome or whatever, and get a picture
Wherever
with it.
they travel, kind of like, yeah,
The flat Stanley idea.
Yeah.
So,
Is the duck holding up pretty well? I mean, is he,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
under glass.
yeah, he's under glass, and actually I thought it was from the 50s, but I found he was from the 40s collection that was donated, and supposedly he was born on a farm, lived to be 7 days old, and they just preserved him because of being weird. But if you live on a farm, you know that those things happen all the time. The animals are deformed a lot, so. But that's what all the kids and the high school kids and the college kids, first thing they walk in the door, or people that was there when they were younger,
Yeah.
where's the duck?
Where's the duck? Yeah.
Well, it used to be on the third floor, now it's in the parlor on the center table.
Okay.
So. Other than that, that's all I have.
Good
Any
report.
questions?
Great report.
Thank you.
Any questions from the floor? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good report. Excellent. Feel a little jaded that we didn't get the inside scoop on the duck name.
Pass it down to Jimmy. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, new business.
Ready to go?
Yep.
Thank you.
How do we get in the loop on the, how do we get in the loop on the history stuff? You put me on a list of
Supplemental
maybe or
appropriations,
something.
Yes.
on the impaired driving enforcement program fund, salaries,
Yeah,
10,000.
our meetings are- Yeah, I'll send you an email.
Selective traffic enforcement program fund, salaries line 5,000.
Thumb drive it.
Indigent guardianship fund, contract services, 3,300. The county sewer district fund, contract services, 5,000. And that's 1,000 each in the Hammer, Heinzman, 1,000 the Honey Creek, 1,000 in New Regal, 1,000 in 23, 224, and 1,000 in Bascom. General fund, court professional experts, 15,000. General fund, indigent counsel, 20,000. And the impaired driving enforcement program, salaries, $144.84.
And you have a fund advance?
Yes, I have, two fund advance and a transfer. Resolution authorizing a fund advance from the general fund to the impaired driving enforcement fund for $10,000. Resolution authorizing a fund advance from the general fund to the selective traffic enforcement program fund for $5,000. Resolution authorizing a fund transfer be made to the public assistance fund for $2,329.52. And then I have a disposal of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit county-owned property, 2003 Dodge Caravan, on behalf of the Seneca County Department of Job and Family Services.
There was a time when we would love a car like that.
Yeah, right.
Today,
Gotta go, so it'll be a good car for somebody else.
when you're 16.
That one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should have did a trade, yeah. Yes, I did that.
Resolution authorizing the contract with the Lucas County Board of Commissioners for the Lucas County Coroner to perform certain necessary autopsies and toxicology reports for the calendar year of 2020. And a resolution approving the contract service agreement with the Oriana House for TCAP on behalf of the Seneca County Common Police Court.
Okay,
Is it?
a motion to accept.
So moved.
Discussion, I just want to say a little bit about indigent defense while we have it on the resolution. If you watch the court docket at all, you'll see, a number of increase in cases there. And so, the way indigent defense works is we have an agreement with the state where historically they agreed to pay for half of indigent defense. Everybody gets an attorney, and if you're indigent, you get one appointed by the court. A number of great attorneys in Tiffin and the surrounding area accept those appointments, and we pay them accordingly, an hourly rate with a cap. The cap is kind of routinely pierced for extraordinary expenses in a case. So the cap, while it's a nominal amount that's out there on how much can be spent on a case, as necessary, the judge is somewhat frequently pierce that cap. There's been a recent move by CCAO to get increased funding to indigent defense. And so last budget cycle, the General Assembly did put more money into that line item, but it's a fixed pot that will get divided amongst all the counties. So our hope is that we'll see an increased rate of reimbursement to the Seneca County taxpayers from state funds for indigent defense. And it'll be a lower burden on the county budget. But, we'll see how that plays out, because it's a fixed pie, and so as everybody reaches into it, everybody's gonna get a fixed percentage of that. So, again, very appreciative of the attorneys who agree to take cases, and I think that the judges do a fantastic job of, protecting the taxpayers and monitoring that and making sure that everybody has good representation. So, $20,000 increase there. I just thought there might be some interest in what the backstory is there.
Good.
Anything else? Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner? Commissioner Cummings?
Yes. All right. Any other new business? Public comments? Charlene's.
Just want to remind the commissioners that we sent Stacy an email yesterday and John Logston about the building management plan. We are following up with Gossman Group. After their last presentation, we felt like the commissioners might be looking for more. We're not sure. And so we sent you the scope of work, and we want you to make sure that you take time to review that and get back to us if you do want some changes, because we're rounding that curve where we're getting ready to say, we're getting close to the end. We want to make sure we deliver the product that's going to be useful and what you need. So please make sure to look over that email and look over the scope of work. If you didn't get it forwarded to you from Stacy, please let me know and I'll resend it to you. Just want to make sure you're...
And what I would say to that is, there's a long list of things that we want to know and do, but we also need to get something done.
Right.
So, to the extent that we can get to a point, I don't want them to be waiting on us for direction when we establish the original scope of work. If there needs to be an add-on and an addendum to that, we can do that. But I don't want
Nothing's
their
being held up.
confusion to hold up the process.
There's no holdup on the process at this point. This is just, we're pre-planning. Again, we plan, I think, Tony, you're not used to us yet, but I know Shane is, that in regional planning, we're always trying to get ahead of the issue. And Craig and I both were kind of like, oh, we think they want more, and before this becomes an issue, let's make sure we address it.
Yeah.
So this way it doesn't hold them up. They're not stopping their process. They're moving ahead just like they should be. But this way we know ahead of time in case it is going to be, and we can get planned for it. So we just want to make sure that you guys are looking at everything where you're going to get what you want out of it.
Yeah.
So that's just from us to
Master
you.
planning on the buildings.
Yeah. Yep.
So
All right, good. He's coming in to make a presentation soon?
no, we have 2 brainstorming sessions scheduled at the end of the month with our elected officials and department heads.
Okay.
So 2 different mornings. I think they're the 20th and 29th or 29th. I gotta look at my calendar. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
29th,
But
28th.
You just said.
The department heads and elected officials all did a poll on what days would work great for them. These are the best ones. So Craig and his team will be down to do the final brainstorming and review, and then there should be some follow-up after that.
Okay.
With commissioners, and we're getting
On
close.
track, do you think, for year end?
I think so. We had a little hiccup, and I'm okay with that. The timeline that was proposed, we all know that sometimes those change and they're a little fluid. So I'm pretty sure towards the end of the year we should be done.
Okay.
I would like it to be done by December so that you guys have it for planning for next year.
Right.
That's my goal for that.
Good. Other information, comments? Bounce house, Ben?
Yeah, I would like to make one quick There you went.
We saw him this morning in
Right.
Fallsburg Economic Development.
Ben Nutter, Sunny Farms Landfill. Just wanted to inform the commissioners, as Tony heard this morning, that we had our first open house last Saturday at Sunny Farms Landfill, and it went very, very well. We had over 225 people there, and we gave over 200 people tours. We had pumpkins and bouncy houses, and it was a really good informational day. We got a lot of good feedback, a lot of positive comments. This will be the first in many that we do, and we're going to, continue to really connect with the community and make sure they're aware of everything we're doing, and and continually improve. So it went great.
Yeah.
And anytime you guys want to come out, call me. I'll take you to the top.
That's what we want. We want the private tour.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. I can make that happen. Thank you.
Anything else?
Zip line down.
All right. We'll let the record show that when Commissioner Kirschner watches this video, we kept it under an hour. All right. Adjourned.